it's Dr. Parikh, and this is Module 3. So Module 3, you'll notice that there's even less, or it's starting to be a lot less reading and videos for the course, but this week you're doing a lot of reading and taking notes on your articles. So let's look at what you've got going. Where is my mouse? There's my mouse. Let's make this guy go away. So readings, you're reading a lot less than you did last week. Videos, you're getting a lot fewer videos. Chapter 3, I have quite a bit to say, but other than that, things get fairly short. Concept map is a little longer of a video, but that you're doing a lot of it while I'm talking. Hopefully. So now we're kind of falling into the routine with your posts. So your reading circle posts come up on Tuesdays, and you get a little more credit for those than for other things. That's partly to give you some points for all the work you're doing reading and watching videos. You've got 2 article notes that come up due on Wednesday, so make sure that, again, it's tough in this course. If you start on Monday for the week, it's going to be really hard to get everything done by Wednesday night. For this, I'm kind of assuming that your time is overlapping a little bit and you're working on, a few assignments at once, that you're not completely linearly going and working absolutely up to the deadline before moving on to the next thing. Of course, sometimes that'll happen, but as much as you can, try to spread things out. Thursdays, you'll respond to the reading circles and write 2 new posts. Paraphrase post. Let's look at the discussion board just to kind of see how things are going. So the first week is a little fuzzier. The second week, we start getting into the more typical. So last week, you would have done where you do your reading circle. You do a check-in where you talk about how things are going, and you start to workshop things where you're posting part of what you're working on as far as writing goes and getting feedback. Occasionally, I'll float in these and give some feedback myself, but mostly you're getting feedback from peers. And a lot of times it's just kind of a nice little vague, pick whatever you're working on. Later, it'll be more specific pieces. But for now, you're still working on taking notes and paraphrasing, so that's what you work on. You've still got some APA quizzes coming, and you're taking, 1 or 2 a week right now, but that'll slow down. Partly there's only 10, so we're going to run out, but also I'm trying to get you the APA information before you start your heavy writing. So, of course, I need to give you the quizzes now so that you have it when you're ready to start drafting. You're also going to find a 4th article. So I have you write up notes on 3 articles, and those are going to be peer-reviewed empirical articles, and then you'll add in a 4th. You'll go back and continue your search to find a new article that is a little less constrained. And I've added this in because with 3 empirical articles, it's really hard to find the common ground. By the time you get to, let's say, 20 or 30 empirical articles, now you're kind of sorting them into groups and finding similarities. And that's what most of the papers you're reading, the journal articles that have been published, that's the sort of thing they've done for their introduction. They've got 20, 30, 40 or more articles that they're looking at, and they're kind of grouping them into paragraphs and then grouping the paragraphs into sections. But for you, you're just working with 3 articles, and so I want to make it a little easier to try to blend those articles rather than getting in the habit of talking, explaining one article and then in the next paragraph explaining another article with or without. Oh, I forgot to take off my notifications, so I have a baby picture to look at in a few minutes when I'm done with this. And then you'll do your concept map. This is, in many ways, I think one of the most overwhelming steps, but it's also the most exciting. This is where you put your ideas forth. This is really the work that you do in the paper. Paraphrasing is work also, but when I mean work, I mean the creative contribution you are making in the universe. You are putting something out in the world that has never quite been there before, and that happens in the concept map. Make sure you schedule yourself time to work on the concept map. And also, if you're really intimidated by it, do it as early as you can, because then if it doesn't go well, you can reach out to me and we can schedule a time to work on it. I would be open to working on it even before, if you are just completely flabbergasted by the thought of how to do this, you could contact me and we could just do the assignment together, but that needs to happen typically in office hours. So you have to, if you're contacting me Sunday morning, I'm not going to be available to help you. If you're contacting me, Monday or Tuesday of the week before and saying, all right, do you have any office hours that can work or whatnot, I'm much more likely to be able to reach out. By now, you should be pretty familiar with Blackboard. You should know where to find everything. That's Module 3. It's an exciting week. You're doing a lot of the writing that ends up going into your paper, and you are doing a lot of creating this week. So give yourself some shower time, meaning that time that you're just thinking. Maybe take a walk or two or a drive where you don't have music or a podcast going, where you're able to just think freely, kind of let your mind wander, because that's where a lot of this organizing and creating work happens. So give yourself quiet time and space and have happy writing. Bye.